It's about breaking out of your comfort zone, which many of us are so comfortable in. That's why you call it a comfort zone. But we're going to break out of those comfort zones in relationships. We're going to look at careers, your faith, your finances, and of course, personal growth. Okay, guys, we're going to take a look at some of the risks, some of the rewards to real life side stories that have you nodding, and some of you maybe even hollering amen by the time it's over with. We're going to get real about why growth is necessary, why comfort zones can be dangerous, and how to move forward even when fear kicks in. Because when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, it is kind of scary because you're so comfortable at that level. But sometimes you need to challenge yourself and step out of that comfort zone and take risks. Okay, guys. So whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're retired, or you just feeling stuck or the same old thing, this conversation will push you to think bigger. We want you to dream bolder. And finally, we want you to make the moves you've been putting off for a while. So don't be, like they said, don't be scared. Okay.
Definitely don't be scared, guys. Yo. Welcome back again, as Doc B said, to the hottest seat on the internet, J&B Live Podcast. I'm your boy, your uncle, your best friend, Broker J3, multi-state real estate broker, deal closer, and your favorite big brother who's not afraid to call you out in love, of course.
Yes, okay. And guys, I am your girl, Dr. B. I am a life coach. I've retired from the technical college. So I am considered an educator, taught for 20 plus years. And some people may refer to me as their auntie. Of course, I'm the auntie that you can talk about with practically anything, as long as you're ready for some honest answers. Now, I am going to keep it real, guys. So now, if you're watching on live, I need you to do me a favor, guys. I need you to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, that's right. All three: like, share, subscribe. Please remember to continue to send us those gifts. We appreciate it. The love that helps us to keep this content coming to you guys. So don't just sit here and just be noisy. Hit that bell, tap that share button, and send this link to somebody who may be stuck in their comfort zone and need to hear this. You know somebody that's stuck. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so today's topic is charting new horizons. And we're not talking about vacations, traveling. We're going a step further than that. We mean breaking out of your comfort zone in every single part of your life. Love, career, faith, money, travel, all of it, everything. Because sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself is something that scares the mess out of you. In other words, you're coming out of that comfort zone, you're doing something different. Of course, you're afraid, but sometimes that's good. So if you're watching live, drop your city in your chat. We love seeing you guys where the family is tuning in from. So drop your city, whatever city. I don't care if it's in the rural areas or where. Just drop your city in and let us know where you're from.
Exactly, guys. Again, welcome again, J&B Live Podcast. Now, why does this topic hit so hard? This is why people love to talk about growth. Like it's a cute Instagram quote, but growth ain't just pretty pictures and hashtag. Growth means change.
Mm-hmm.
It means your old ways don't fit no more. Okay. It means you're going to be uncomfortable, sometimes even lonely, while you get to where you're supposed to be in your life.
Yeah, that can happen. Okay, guys. So thank you, Bobby Jernigan. We have Michael Vaughn. Thank you for joining us as well. So, guys, Sanula, I like that. That's different. Thank you guys for joining us and being a part of the J&B family. But you're right, Broker J3. And growth is not always optional if you want to keep your life or your relationship alive. Think about it. A plant that does not grow is what, guys? It's dying. Same with us. If you've been doing the same exact thing for 5 years, don't be surprised when you wake up one day bored out of your mind.
Exactly. And this is bigger than just travel or money moves, as Doc B said earlier. This is about stretching your mind, your habits, your relationships. You might need to change your circle, which we talked about in a previous podcast before. You might need to change your routine. You might even need to change your location.
Yes. And guys, guess what? I'm just going to keep it real because that's what we do. If you are not careful and you stay stagnant, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be 30 years old and you're going to say, where did the time go? You're going to be 40 years old. What have I done? I'm still doing the same thing I was doing 10 years ago. Next thing you know, you're 50 years old. So that's why I'm saying comfort is cute, but comfort will keep you small. And when you got a calling on your life, staying small will make you miserable because guess what? That time is going to fly by.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, so we do have a side story, which is considered a leap of faith. It's for me, because when I retired after 35 years of service, which I did, I worked for the state of Georgia for 35 years. People kept saying, so you're just going to relax now? Baby, listen here. I didn't survive 3 decades of work to just sit in a chair and knit. I started traveling. I started speaking out more. I started doing this podcast, which this was definitely out of my comfort zone because New Horizons aren't about age, they're about attitude.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Your new horizons, it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. Some folks think it's moving across the world. Others think it's about going back to school. Either way, it's about pushing yourself further than you've ever gone before.
Yes, guys. And so things outside the box in relationships.
Exactly, Dr. B. Thinking outside the box in relationship. Let's be real. New horizons get tricky, in relationships. If one person wants to try new things, move, invest, or start something new, the other person may just want to keep it the same. You've got tension waiting to happen.
Yes, it is, because one person don't want to do anything and the other person is ready to move. Exactly. And it's not always about money. Sometimes it can be emotional. One partner may want to explore new friendships. They want to take on new hobbies, maybe even a different way of practicing their faith. And the other one might see that as threatening or it's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. That's how that person feels.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just fear talking. You know what I mean? Sometimes that being scared of something can cause you to say some things that it's not that you don't mean it, it's just you don't understand it. Mm-hmm. People will fight against change because they're scared of losing what they already have, not realizing they might lose it anyway if they don't grow together.
That's exactly correct. That's exactly. So thank you, Mental Chillness, for joining us. Black Diamond, White Chicks, Richard Amos. Thank you guys for joining us. Okay, guys. Now, and in marriage, New Horizons can feel risky, but love without growth, it turns into a routine because a lot of people see it as just doing the same thing over and over and again. And routine without passion, that's just roommates with a marriage license.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And I have another side story, about a couple that took risks. I had a couple looking to buy a fixer-upper, to get as a rental, an investment property. The wife was all in, she was ready to go. But the husband, he was scared, like scared of what? He was scared to lose money, but what if it doesn't, rent? What if we can't find somebody to rent the place out? We're going to have to pay that mortgage ourselves. And after some convincing, they did decide to do it. The first year was rough, and sometimes it's like that. But now they got a steady income and they're planning their second property. That's what happens when you take a calculated leap instead of letting the fear run the show.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So before we get to some of the advantages and disadvantages, I want to give a shout out to Robert Stevens. A lot of people that just come on a few minutes ago. We had Richard Amos. So thank you guys for joining us. And we just got a gift from Willie Shiver. So thank you guys for joining us. So let's get into those pros and cons because New Horizons are exciting, but like I said, we're going to keep it real. So they're not always easy. So we're going to give you some of those pros and cons that we discussed. Okay.
So we're going to start off with the advantages. Okay.
Okay. So the first advantage is personal growth. you discover the strengths that you didn't know you had. Because, like for me, I realized that for me doing the podcast and me doing speaking engagements, that I can actually do it if I just put my mind to it. But I have to do research. But I discovered a strength that I didn't know I had. So growth teaches you also patience. Just always do the best that you can. It teaches you resilience and also adaptability.
Exactly. And also another advantage is new opportunities. Stepping into a new space sometimes that puts you in the room you never thought you'd be in, with people who can change your life. Sometimes, as we were talking about before, changing your circle. Sometimes you have to be around people that have the same mindset, because as you grow, you will change, and you have to surround yourself around those people that have changed to your new mindset.
Yeah, that is exactly right. I always tell myself, and I know I told my children, you are what you eat sometimes. So if you want to grow or you want to become at a certain level, then you need to hang around the people that are where you want to be, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. So also it strengthens relationships. It gives you an opportunity to where you can hang around people with you can share your new experiences, and you can bond with couples and families in a way that routine would never allow you to do it. So you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're meeting new people you wouldn't otherwise meet.
Exactly. And here's another advantage to expanding your perspective. Seeing new places, new cultures, and ideas that shift your worldview. I know some people that have never been outside of Metro Atlanta. You ask them, hey, have you ever been to Savannah? No, I ain't never been to Savannah. They probably never been outside 285. But sometimes,
So how do you know you don't like it if you've never tried it before? At least try it first and then say you don't like it.
Exactly, like cold noodles.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna get into that.
Okay, guys. All right. So we're gonna get to the fifth one, which is increased confidence.
Stepping outside that comfort zone. Now we're gonna talk about some of the disadvantages to doing that. There's always going to be pros and cons no matter what you do.
Exactly.
And the first one is risk of failure. It's just like investment. Some people that's into the stock market, they know you can gain some money, you can lose some money. So not every new horizon works out. That's how you grow. Sometimes you have to fail. You might lose some money, you might lose some time, and here's another one: even a relationship that you're in the process of building.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So also financial strain, big moves, like Broker J3 said, can come with big costs. Like for instance, if you were willing to do some traveling, it's going to get expensive because you got to travel to those other countries. Some people choose to relocate. And then, of course, we mentioned the investments a few minutes ago. So not everyone is ready for that hit. So, of course, you're going to have to prepare yourself for that and be ready for those financial costs.
Exactly. And here's one, relationship tension. Okay. When one person is ready to change and the other one isn't, that's going to be a major blow, and you're going to have to learn to deal with it, because it can cause arguments. It can cause resentment, and it can even cause breakup.
All right. Okay. Yes, it can. Okay. And now we're going to talk about the emotional stress, because change can be mentally exhausting, because when you just think about it, you're making some change. So, of course, it can be emotional for you. And especially if you're stepping into something that's completely unfamiliar to you. So, you may have to have a lot of prayer, and definitely you want to be prepared. Don't just jump out there and not do your homework or your research first. Make sure you're prepared.
Exactly. And the last disadvantage we're going to talk about is isolation. Okay. Sometimes your family and friend won't understand what your choice is. You got to remember, you're doing this for yourself or your partner, if you have a partner. So, everybody, your family, your friends may not agree with your move. Hey, I want to start a new business. Hey, starting a new business might cost a lot of money. You might lose some money. I don't think you should do that. So you may lose some family and friends based on your decision. So, and you may feel like you're doing it alone, because sometimes you expect your family and friends to to be your best motivator, especially when you're trying something new to better yourself. But believe it or not, sometimes they're not.
Yes, that is true, guys. And here's the kicker: almost every disadvantage is temporary. It's temporary if you do your planning well. So you have to stay adaptable and push through the hard times. Just like relocating to another area, it may be difficult at first, but you have to push through it. Growth doesn't stay uncomfortable forever, and that's why we're talking about stepping out of your comfort zone, because when it becomes uncomfortable, that's when people have the problem of trying to just go back to the way they were doing things. But it's okay if it's uncomfortable. It won't last forever.
Exactly. Because, the first few months might feel shaky, of course. But once you actually adjust, you look back wondering why you didn't do it sooner. I should have been did this.
Yes. Okay, guys. So I want to give a shout out to Spice and Ripe. So thank you for joining us. Betty Wilson, Hot Boy, thank you for joining us. Guys, thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you. And don't forget to do what, Broker J3?
Tap that screen, share, like, and continue to send those gifts. Guys, we do have a gift goal that we try to reach each time we go live. We appreciate you guys helping us to reach that gift goal. So each platform is slightly different. So send those gifts, guys. We really appreciate it. It always goes a long way to keep this content going, and we really appreciate it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and jump to the next little section here. We're going to talk about growth and stagnation.
Okay, guys, we're going to talk about why staying comfortable is dangerous. We're talking about people just stagnant, not want to move. They're just comfortable. Stagnation doesn't just stop your progress. It robs you of your purpose because you're limiting yourself. You stop dreaming. You stop imagining. Yes. You stop living with excitement. You just content in that same little space.
Exactly. And you start settling for good enough, instead of great. It's okay. No, you want it to be better than that.
Yes.
Anybody can be mediocre, and it's not just in work, sometimes it's in love.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in health, and sometimes it's in every part of your life.
Yes, it is. So sometimes people stay stagnant because they're in that little comfort zone and it feels safe. That's all they know. But safe can also mean that you're stuck. You're not moving. You're not growing. And stuck sometimes leads to regret. And sometimes when you're in a relationship, it can lead to resentment. And baby, regret is heavier than failure. So you have to be careful.
Exactly. Truth, Dr. B. You can bounce back from failure, but you can't bounce back from the time that you never used.
No, you can't. You can't get it back either. It's lost time. So guys, family, charting new horizons is about choosing to live life fully instead of just existing, getting up, doing the same thing every single day. Whether it's trying a new career, moving somewhere new, starting a business, or taking that trip that you've been putting off for years. Just do something that scares you or takes you out of that comfort zone in a good way. It's okay if you do that.
Exactly. And if you're in a relationship, which many people are, remember, it's not about dragging your partner along, okay? It's about growing together. Mm-hmm. That's what you want to do. You want to grow together and find new horizons that you both can get excited about.
Yes. Okay, guys, we got some people that are just not joining us. So thank you guys for coming on and joining us. Laura Prince for joining us. Jose Del Rio. We appreciate you guys. And Hot Boy, I think I mentioned that a few minutes, but Big Law. Thank you guys for joining us and being a part of the J&B family. We appreciate your support. So don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Just keep tapping and let us know. Drop us a comment and just say hi. But before we close out, we want to give a big shout out to everyone that's been rocking with us on YouTube, Bigo Live, TikTok, and Apple Music. There are other platforms, but I just named a couple of them. So keep tapping that screen and keep dropping those likes. And thank you for your gifts. We do appreciate them.
Exactly, guys. And remember, guys, for some of you guys that may come to the live after it has ended, you can always be able to watch the full episode on YouTube. So make sure you go to Live with J&B on YouTube to catch it. And you can also continue to still tap those screens even when we're not live. And you can always still send those gifts even when we're not live. We definitely appreciate it. We'll be back next time with another conversation. You know that you can't get nowhere else but right here on J&B Live.
Yes, and girls, and don't forget to tune in. Now we're here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Now we do branch out a little bit. I might do an episode by myself solo, and Broker J3 may do an episode solo as well. So we're going to be bringing you more content as we progress, but definitely Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. And I do have one live tomorrow at 6 p.m. So guys, stop by and see me. I would love for you to join me for tomorrow's episode.
Exactly. And as Doc B said, eventually you guys will be able to catch us live Monday through Fridays.
Yes, eventually.
Doing our podcast together and also doing our separate podcast as part of the J&B Live, Sister to Sister and Broker J3 Speaks. So you guys get a chance to catch that out. And also, guys, next week, we have a new playlist coming to our YouTube channel. It's gonna be the J&B Live skit. So you guys got something real good coming. It's in the works, guys. So we hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure that you guys subscribe to J&B Live podcast on YouTube Live with J&B. We really appreciate it, guys. As always, thank you so much for your support.
Okay, guys, I am your girl, Dr. B.
And I'm your boy, Broker J3. And until next time, guys, remember, let's talk about it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.